What does it mean to be the one your family gave up on? 25 centuries ago, in the kingdom of Magadha, in the city of Rajagaha, there were two brothers, the elder bright, the younger slow. The younger could not hold a four-line verse he had been given to memorize. 4 months later, he had not held it. His name was Cūḻapanthaka. This story is preserved in the Dhammapada Commentary, Buddhaghosa's commentary on the 25th verse, with the verses Cūḷapanthaka himself composed, kept in the Theragāthā as the elder's own poem. It is one of the strangest stories of awakening in the canon, because the man who could not hold 4 lines for 4 months became, in a single morning, the man who saw. To understand what he saw, you have to understand what was placed in his hands. The two brothers were born on the road. Their mother had been the daughter of a wealthy treasurer in Rajagaha. As a young woman, she had gone against her family, eloped with a servant of the household, gone to live in his village. When she was carrying their first child, she wanted to return home. They began the journey. The first child came before they reached the city on the road outside Rajagaha. They named him Cūḷapanthaka, the Great Pathway. Years later, with the second child, the same thing happened. The second child also came on the road. They named him Cūḷapanthaka, the Small One. The grandparents, once they saw the children, took them into the household their daughter had left. The grandfather raised them. The elder was bright. He heard and he held what he heard. As a young man, he heard the Dhamma from a visiting elder, and he asked to ordain. Within months, he had attained the unshaken seeing. He went home in the saffron robe. He came back after a time for his brother. Cūḻapanthaka said, "Cūlla, come. The teacher receives those who ask." Cūlla went with him. He took the robe. He took the bowl. He sat among the new monks. His brother, now a senior monk, gave him a single 4-line verse to memorize. He gave the same verse to the others who had ordained that month. The others learned it in a morning. Some had it before the noon meal. Cūlla sat with the verse. He held the first line. He turned to the second, and the first slipped. He went back. He held the first and the second. He turned to the third, and both slipped. By evening, he had 4 lines, none of which would stay together. He sat through the night with them. By morning, the 4 lines were as separate from him as they had been the day before. His brother passed him the next afternoon. He said nothing. Cūlla kept the verse, or tried to keep it. Days passed. The summer was long that year. Then the monsoons came. The rains beat the courtyard for 2 months, and then they passed. The cool months turned the air to ash light. The cool months passed, and then the heat was beginning again. Each day, Cūlla held the verse. Each day, he lost it. Begin again. Lose them. Begin again. In the morning, he sat with the first line. By midday, he had 2 of the 4. By evening, often, he had none. Begin again. Lose them. Begin again. The other monks, the ones who had learned the verse in a morning, moved on. They sat in the meditation hall. They went out for alms. They came back. They sat in the cool of the courtyard. They did not look at Cūlla for long when they passed him. The first month passed. Begin again. Lose them. Begin again. His brother stopped sitting beside him at the meal hour. There was no anger in it. The senior monk had work to do that the younger one was not yet doing. Cūlla sat at the end of the row alone. The second month passed. Begin again. Lose them. Begin again. He did not stop trying. He woke in the dark before the others. He sat with the verse. He went out for alms when the bowl was passed to him. He came back. He sat with the verse. The third month passed. Begin again. Lose them. Begin again. The summer came again, the way it had come the year he had taken the robe. The same heat, the same long afternoons. The cicadas in the trees of the courtyard. The 4th month passed. Begin again. Lose them. Begin again. By the end of the 4th month, Cūlla had not held the 4 lines together for more than the time of a breath. Cūḻapanthaka came to him at the end of the 4th month. He came at the hour after the alms round, when the other monks were eating in the cloister. Cūlla was sitting under the eaves of the courtyard, the way he sat in the morning, with the verse in his hands. Cūḻapanthaka said, "Cūlla," he said, "it has been 4 months." He said, You are not made for this. Go home. There is no shame in a life lived honestly outside the order. The teacher receives those who ask. He does not hold those who cannot stay. Cūḻa did not answer. He sat with the verse for a long time. Then he stood. He folded the robe. He took the bowl. He walked from the cloister, across the courtyard, toward the gate. At the threshold of the gate, he stopped. He sat down at the edge of the gate, in the dust, and could not make his feet cross. He wept. The Buddha was returning from the alms round. He had been at a layman's house at the eastern edge of the city. He came back through the lanes of Rajagaha at the hour of the heat. He came to the monastery gate with the bowl in his hands. He saw a young monk sitting in the dust at the threshold, weeping. He stopped. He set the bowl down beside him. He sat down in the dust beside Cūḻa. He said plainly, "Cūḻa, why are you weeping?" Cūḻa told him. 4 months, the 4 lines, the way they would not stay, his brother's words, the gate he could not cross. The Buddha listened. When Cūḻa had finished, the Buddha said, "Did your brother bring you to the Dhamma?" Cūḻa said, "He did." The Buddha said, "Then your brother cannot send you from it." He took Cūḻa by the hand. He stood. He walked with him, back across the courtyard, away from the gate, to a clean spot in the morning sun beside the cloister wall. He sat him down. From the folds of his own robe, the Buddha took a small white cloth. It was a simple piece, perhaps the length of a hand. Unbleached cotton, kirie cream, the kind a layman would offer at the alms hour for the wiping of bowls. He placed it in Cūḻa's hands. He said, "Sit, hold this, rub it slowly between your hands." He said, "While you rub it, say only, removal of dust, removal of stain, removal of dust, removal of stain." The Buddha did not stay. He picked up his bowl and went on into the cloister, the way he always went at this hour. He did not look back. Cūḻa sat alone in the sun. He held the cloth. He rubbed it slowly between his hands. He spoke the words, removal of dust, removal of stain. The morning was long. The sun moved. Removal of dust, removal of stain. He sat with the cloth in his hands. The first hour passed. The cloth was white. His palms were warm. The chant was steady. Removal of dust, removal of stain. The second hour passed. The cloth was no longer white. He noticed it. He held the cloth up between his fingers. The cream of the cotton was darker now in the place where his hands had held it. There was a faint gray along the fold, where his thumb had rubbed. There was a darker patch in the body of the cloth, where the heel of his palm had pressed. He looked at the cloth. He looked at his hands. The dirt had not come from the air. The morning was clean. The sun was clean. The courtyard had been swept at dawn. The dirt had come from his hands. He looked at his hands. They were the hands he had washed that morning at the well. They were clean, and yet, in the time of the chant, they had darkened the cloth. He saw the cloth. He saw his hands. He saw the body that was making the dirt. He saw the body that had walked 4 months in the cloister with the verse in it. The body that had eaten and slept and risen and held the verse and lost the verse. The body that had been told by the brother who loved him that it was not made for this. He saw the body, and he saw then what the cloth had been about. The dust on the cloth was not separate from him. The dust on the cloth was him. Removal of dust, removal of stain. He sat very still. Something opened. Later that morning, Cūḻapanthaka came back across the courtyard. He was carrying a meal invitation. A wealthy layman of Rajagaha had sent word that he wished to feed the Sangha that day at his house. Cūḻapanthaka had come to deliver the count of monks to the Buddha. He came around the corner of the cloister. He saw in the morning sun a young monk seated on the swept ground with a small white cloth in his hands. He recognized his brother. He went on past into the cloister to where the Buddha was sitting. He gave the count. He said after a moment, "My brother is at the wall." The Buddha said, "Yes." The Buddha said, "Your brother's eyes have been opened." Cūḻapanthaka was quiet. He looked back at the courtyard. His brother was still sitting in the sun. A young man, whose family had given up on him, who held a small white cloth between his hands until the dust upon it was no longer separate from him, and the cloth lay clean in his hands.